أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلوات ربي وسلامه على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah, the Almighty, the Creator of the heaven and the earth. Inshallah, we are going to continue our dars, our lessons about the life of our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, in our last video, we talked about some of the events that took place between Badr and Uhud. We talk about some of the events that took place. Inshallah, today we are going to continue. We still have some other events that took place before Uhud, and so today's lesson would be pretty much based on that. So we have about 4 events that took place, and we'll see if we could summarize everything before we get to Uhud, inshallah. So without any further delay, some of the events that also take place between Badr and Uhud, one of them was called Qarqaratul Qudr. Qarqaratul Qudr. And this Qarqaratul Qudr was an expedition, meaning, and why this is called Qarqaratul Qudr? In Medina, there are some tribes, a huge tribe, very close to Medina, and this tribe is called Banu Salama al-Ghatafan. Banu Salama al-Ghatafan. So this huge tribe has some sub-tribe, meaning it has a lot of branches because this sub is this the tribe is big, is huge. They have some sub-tribe, meaning they have some branches out of this big tribes. Some of this tribe or sub-tribes from Banu Salama al-Ghatafan, they decide to attack Muslims right after Badr, a week after Badr, pretty much. And why are they doing this? Why they want to attack Muslims? Very simple. These pagans from Banu Salama al Ghatafan, they used to trade with Quraysh back in the days. Before Badr, they used to trade with Quraysh. They would buy and sell goods from Quraysh. So when Quraysh would leave Syria in their way to Mecca, they would pass through Medina, and this tribe would buy and sell with Quraysh, and they make their money, they make their business transactions like that. So not since the Quraysh been defeated in Badr, and since the Muslim pretty much took over, and since the Muslim cut off all the business line, all the business trip from the Quraysh, all the path that Quraysh would take to do their business, the Muslim cut off all those line. That pretty much affect Banu Salam al-Ghatafan. So this sub-tribe, some of the groups got together and decide we're not going to sit like this. The reason we are out of business or the reason our business slowed down, it's simply because of this Muslim. So we are going to take our revenge by attacking them. So they decide to get together and they plan to attack Muslims. So Prophet ﷺ heard the news that these tribes, some of the groups, wanted to attack Muslims. And he delegated some people, some Muslims, to counterattack, meaning to come after this group. And some said Prophet was part of of the group when he was among the groups that wanted to come after this sub tribes. So when these people heard that the Muslims are coming after them, they're the one who were about to attack the Muslim, but now they find out that the Muslim heard what they're about to do, and the Muslims are not sitting down, but yet they are attacking them. The minute they heard that, they fled. They run away. They run away and left some of their camels, some of their belongings, and even one of the slaves they left there. That's what Prophet ﷺ said. He said, "Nusurtu bi ru'bin nasirat al-shahr." Nusurtu bi ru'bin nasirat al-shahr. He simply said, "By Allah, that enemies are terrified, even if there is a month journey away from like my enemy." Prophet is saying, Allah always help me by terrifying my enemy when they heard that I'm coming, even if it is the month journey away. Allahu Akbar. You see, every time the enemy heard that Prophet is coming after them, they're terrified, they became scared, they became terrified. They can't, they run away. Why? Because Allah helped Prophet by putting fears in the heart of the enemy when they heard the Prophet is coming after them. Allah Akbar. That's what Prophet used to say, Nusurtu bi ru'bin masirat shahr. Allah helped me, by putting fears in the heart of the enemy when they heard that I'm coming after them, even if it is 1 month journey. Allahu Akbar. So now, when they heard that Prophet ﷺ coming and the Muslims are coming after them, they left their belonging and they run away. So the Muslim came to where these people were stationed, and they found, some camels, and those who participated in this expedition, which is called Qarqaratul Qadr or Qarqaratul Qudr. They said, historian said, each person that participated in this expedition got 2 camels and some belongings, and they left one slave. So these pagans, when they run away, they left one slave behind, and that slave, his name was Yasar. He was an Abyssinian slave, and so the one who captured the slave, the Muslim that captured the slave, took the slave to the Prophet ﷺ and gave it to Prophet as a gift. And this man, the slave, Yasar, his name was Yasar, he became Muslim, you know. So he became Muslim, and Prophet freed him, and he stayed with Prophet and, do work, help Prophet with some of the work and so forth. Because every time Prophet captured a slave or someone gave him a slave, he would free the slaves, you know. So that's one of the events that took place. And the other event that took place is called Battle of Sawiq. Battle of Sawiq. Why this is called Battle of Sawiq? What is a Sawiq? Sawiq is like a porridge. Even in Africa, we dry, like meals or rice or different kind of food. We dry it, and we put milk, we put sugars, we put honey, and so forth. And sometimes we even put peanuts. Once we dry it, it's more like a chagri. In people from Senegal they call it chagri. In Mali we call it dege. So, or there are other type of seed too. We dry it and we put milks and sugars and stuff like that. Once we dry it, we could carry this dry food with us when we're traveling. And then once we get hungry, because people who used to travel back in the days by horse or by camels, they would carry this type of food, this dry food. So, and this dry food, you could have it, you could keep it for like a whole years with you. It would not spoil. So all you have to do when you get hungry, you just pour waters on this dry food, and then you can eat it right away. So that's called sawiq in Arabic. So what the Arab people, what they do, they would have this. It's like a dough, uh, more like a flour type, and like a dough for bread or whatever. They would dry it. They would put milks. They would put honey. They would put butter and stuff like that. And then once they dry it, they would carry with them for their long journey. So if they got hungry, then if they got really hungry, then they would just put some waters in it and they ate it. So that's what caused Sawik. So the reason this bottle is called bottle of Sawik, because the Arab, when those who made this porridge food, they made so many of them and carry because they want to go and fight Muslims. And these were pagans. Some of the Quraysh did that. And the leader was Abu Sufyan. We talk about Abu Sufyan a lot. So Abu Sufyan, he made an oath, meaning he take an oath by saying he's going to avenge, the Quraysh that got killed in Badr. He would not take a shower. He would not put waters on his body till he's able to avenge those that kill, his brothers from Quraysh, meaning those that, no, meaning he referring to the Muslim. He said he's not going to take a bath, which is pretty nasty. I mean, how could you go all this time without taking a bath? So he said he's not going to take a bath as long as it would take till he take his revenge on Muslim because of the Badr. So, some said it took him probably about a month or two right after Badr, to gather some groups from Quraysh, and now they're going to launch an attack against Muslims. So Abu Sufyan, before he attacked Muslims, there was this tribe in Medina. It's called Nadir. Banu Nadir. So this Banu Nadir is a Yahud tribe. We said there were three Yahudi tribes, meaning three Jewish tribes in Medina: Banu Qaynuqa, Banu Nadir, and Banu Khurayza. We talked about Banu Qaynuqa last time. Those. We talked about Banu Qaynuqa, I think, in our last video or before that. But this time now, this is Banu Nadir. So Banu Nadir, even though they had a treaty with Prophet ﷺ, they have alliance with the Muslim. What was the alliance? Because when Prophet ﷺ first came to Medina, he made an alliance with Jewish and Arab that were not Muslims. And he said, since we all are citizens of Medina, we should come together to fight the outside enemy. If an enemy decide to attack Medina, we should all, join force together and fight them off. So all the leaders, from Yahud and from the Arab, they agree. So there was that alliance. But these people, they didn't care about that alliance. Now they're gonna violate that treaty. They're gonna violate that alliance, and the Banu Nadir would go and sneak out and go meet up with Abu Sufyan, and they create an alliance with Abu Sufyan, and now they want to help Abu Sufyan against Muslims in Medina. So they would give food and some supplies to Abu Sufyan and to get them ready to fight the Muslim. Allahu Akbar. So they did that. So then Abu Sufyan, he was ready to attack, and he came to Abu Sufyan came to a place. It was like a farmland. When he comes to this farmland, he found some Ansari, people from Medina, and he and his group, they were able to kill two people, and they burned down the entire farmland. They burned down the gardens of the palm tree. And so now he said, well, I mean, not from now on, I could at least take a shower because I was able to fulfill my promise. The promise that I said that I'm not going to take showers or I'm not going to put waters on my body till I avenge those that got killed in Badr. Now I could take a bath. So he decided to do that. Now, when they heard that Prophet ﷺ, because Prophet, and the Muslim heard that Abu Sufyan and his entourage are attacking some Muslims, so all of a sudden the Muslims there went after Abu Sufyan and his people. And when they heard that the Muslims are coming, they fled. They run away again. Like the Prophet said, "Nasurtu bi ru'bin nasirat al-shahr." When they heard that Prophet ﷺ and the Sahabis are coming after them, they fled, they run away, and the porridge they were carrying, meaning the sawit, the food, the dry food that I explained it, that they were carrying, they cut off all those bags from their animals, so that way the animal could run faster, and they left all this bag of sawit, behind. So when Muslim came, they find nobody. Only they found is this porridge food that this Quraysh or this pagan left behind. So that was one of the also incident that took place. So, and another incident that took place is called Sariyatu Qarada. Sariyatu Qarada. What is Sariyatu Qarada? Sariyatu Qarada is, we said every time you heard the word Sariya, meaning it's an expedition that Prophet ﷺ himself did not participate. But every time you heard the word Ghazawat or Ghazwa, meaning Prophet participated in those. So, but this Sariyatul Qarada, Prophet ﷺ did not participate in this one, but he delegated some groups to for this mission. All right, so in Saratul Qarara, the Quraysh, they became very desperate since their route, their business route, has been cut off. Their business route been cut off, and they didn't have any supplies. The Muslim took over, so they were going crazy. They don't know what to do, so they decided to get together. The Quraysh, they decided to meet up and get together and trying to find a new route or new path for the caravan. So they delegate Safwan ibn Umayyah. We talk about Safwan ibn Umayyah. Safwan is the one who who agreed with his cousin Umair to go assassinate Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We talked about that in our last video. So that same Safwan, they put him in charge of the caravan this time. And now they're going to figure that out, what new route they could take without Muslims finding out, what is the route to Syria. And they start giving different ideas what route we should take. And some said, oh, let's take Iraqi road. Some said, let's move back down. Some said, let's move back north. Or some said, let's move back to the all the way to the east and so forth. So there was someone called Aswad ibn Abdul Muttalib. This is not the Abdul Muttalib of grandfather of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. No, this is a different Abdul Muttalib. But this man, he was a senior citizen of the Quraysh. His name was Aswad ibn Abdul Muttalib. He knows the routes a lot, so he suggested that they should go all the way up to the northeast, and then back down, shoot back down, and took the route ahead of them, meaning they have to completely deviate the known path that Muslims already know. So they have to go all the way around, all the way to the top, meaning they have to double the trips or the travel in order to go all the way up and then come down. So that way they could meet up the road that takes them to Syria and so forth. And they come up with that new plan. And nobody knew about this plan except those who participate in this meeting. So one of the Quraysh that participated in this meeting, he went out with one of his friends, and his friend name was Salid ibn Nu'man. Salid ibn Nu'man did not participate in this meeting, but his friend, which his name is unknown, participated in this meeting. So when Salid ibn Nu'man and this friend went out to drink alcohol, at this time the drinking was not prohibited yet. So it was not haram to drink alcohol because the ayah, the Quranic verses that made the prohibition of the alcohol did not come down yet. So Salid bin Nu'man, heard this man when he was completely drunk. The man kept saying, and he kept boasting that they're going to take a new route to Syria. This time the Muslims are not going to find out. This time they're going to outsmart the Muslims. Allahu Akbar. So when he started boasting and explaining all the plan, they talked about it because he was completely drunk. That's what alcohol is the mother of all the bad things. Because once you're drunk, you don't know what you're doing. That's what in Islam is. It is haram to drink alcohol. Alcohol is one of the kaba'ira. You can't do that as a Muslim. So when Salah ibn Numan learned about the new route from this guy, he automatically sent someone to Prophet ﷺ and tell him exactly what is the new plan for the Quraysh. And Prophet he chose Zayd ibn Haris. We talked about Zayd ibn Haris before. So Prophet chose Zayd ibn Haris to lead the army to intersect the caravan of the Quraysh. And Zayd ibn Haris were able to intersect this huge caravan, which the value, with the good, the products that this Quraysh had as a value was over 50,000 dinar, which is equivalent pretty much to like over $50 million or even more today. And that was a big boost for Muslim, and that was a big blowout for Quraysh. That's what Allah said, and we talked about this ayah before when Allah said, "Wa is ya'idukum ihda ta'ifatayn annaha lakum." When Allah said in the Quran, He said in Surah Al-Anfal, وَإِذْ يَعِدُكُمْ إِحْدَى طَائِفَتَيْنِ, Allah is promising you one of the two groups, meaning one of the two groups, because Prophet wanted to intercept the caravan of Abu Sufyan, but the Muslim could not get to Abu Sufyan. Rather, they faced Abu Jahl. We talked about that before the Badr. So they faced Abu Jahl, and that's not what they wanted. The Muslims did not come out to fight, but rather they come out so they could just intercept the caravan. But Allah wanted the other way. That's what Allah said. وَإِذْ يَعِدُكُمْ إِحْدَى طَائِفَتَيْنِ. Let's say even if you meet one of them, one of the group, whether it's Abu Jahl or whether it's Abu Sufyan, Allah's still going to give you victory. So when they meet up, when they met, in war with Abu Jahl in Badr, Allah gave the Muslim victory. But now Allah is going to even fulfill even more. Allah did not even promise. Allah promised one of them, but this time Allah is going to give the other one, the other, meaning the one that they missed with Abu Sufyan. Allah is going to give them back. In this case, from Safwan ibn Umayyah. Allahu Akbar. So Muslims were able to acquire these goods from Quraysh, and that led the Quraysh to go to war. They said, you know what, this is it. That's it. We're not going to take this anymore. They cut off our route. They cut off our business. They killed, our leaders in Badr. Now we have to attack Muslim. That's when the Uhud took place. Allahu Akbar. So, but before we get to Uhud, there's this one also we're gonna need to talk about it. And that issue is very controversial in Islam. Non-Muslim always trying to attack Islam with this. There's several things the non-Muslim always would attack Islam with. Several things. One of them was the marriage of Prophet ﷺ with Aisha radiallahu anha, and some of them were when the Prophet recite the Quran, and all the pagans, all the mushrikun fell in sajda in Surah Al-Najm. We talked about that, and because Prophet also fell in prostration. So the pagans transformed that ayah and call it the satanic verse or whatever. Astaghfirullah al-azim al-jalil. So there's several things in Islam that were trying to attack Islam with it. Even though the case of those Jewish tribes in Medina, when they get kicked out, and they said Prophet, he would discriminate against Jews and this and that, a lot of nonsense. But anyway, we're going to come to that and explain everything. So one of those very controversial events that took place in Islam, one of them was the killing of Ka'b ibn Ashraf. The killing of Ka'b ibn Ashraf. So who was Ka'b ibn Ashraf? Ka'b ibn Ashraf, he was a Jewish man from Banu Nadir. But before we get to Ka'b ibn Ashraf, his father was an Arab and his mother was a Jewish woman. So that makes him fully Arab and fully Jewish, because in Judaism, if your mother is Jewish, that would make you Jewish. In Judaism, if your mother is Jewish, that automatically make you a Jewish. And in other culture, if your father is from one tribe, you are automatically from that tribe. That's why he is fully Arab and he is fully Jewish. So Ka'b ibn Ashraf's father, when he was a young man, this was 50 or 40 years before Islam, before Prophet was sent as a messenger. So Ka'b ibn Ashraf's father, he killed someone, he committed murder, and he ran away. So he came to Medina. At that time, it was not called Medina, it was called Yasrib. And he came and asked Banu Nadir to take care of him, to protect him. And Banu Nadir took to protect him, and they raised him, and at some point they adapt him, so they marry one of their women to this guy, to this Arab guy. So when they get married, the child that came out of that marriage, his name was Ka'b ibn Ashraf. So as you can see, his mother's Jewish and father's an Arab. And Ka'b was a very, very handsome man, very, very eloquent when he talks. He was a poet. He was a rich man. He had a lot of money. He have his even own fortress. He has his palace. He has his own fortress. He would trade like those armors, like the armors, the metal armors that you wear when you go to war, and he would sell like those swords and stuff like that. Like he would sell war materials, war stuff, and war weapons pretty much. So he is a very very rich man, but this man was a devil. He was an evil. He showed his animosity towards Islam right from the beginning. He hated Muslim. He hated Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He hated anything about Islam. He always said bad things about Muslim. He always created chaos, problem after problem after problem when it comes to Islam. So Ka'b bin Ashraf, like I said, he is from Banu Nadir. So he is the one when Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam decide when the ayah came down, from Surah Al-Baqarah, that the Muslims should face the Mecca instead of Jerusalem. Because Muslims used to face Mecca, and they used to face Baitul Maqdis till Allah bring the ayah down. Allah sent the ayah down to tell Prophet ﷺ to face Baitul Maqdis.